Live from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee, Wake Up Wenatchee Valley is on the air for this Tuesday, the 10th day of July, 2018. Thanks for starting your day with us here on the NCW Live channel. Hopefully you ended your day with us here on the NCW Live channel. That way when you rolled out of bed and you turned on your TV, here we are again.
Here we are.
I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. Steve Herr, news director to my immediate left. Kat in control, Sean and Bart in the green room. Sean Arrington and Bart Tilley will be joining me the second half of the show. Lighthouse Christian Ministries has a big open house coming up on this Sunday. They are $100,000 short of their goal to get this baby done. They've raised $1.2 million. They have pledges. 16 separate donors have pledged an additional $100,000 if the community can raise the $100,000. So they'll match it dollar for dollar, but they got to get to that C note first. We'll see if we can make that happen with Bart and Sean in the second half of the show.
Well, the Christian Ministries does so much for the homeless and hungry here.
It'll be a great conversation. Looking forward to that. A lot of breaking news. Significant fire out in the Vantage area. Steve is going to have that with our top news story of the day. Also, just about 40 minutes ago, we had a two-car accident on the Avenue. Steve, you want to narrate this real quick?
Well, actually, yeah, we were informed by Rivercom that there was a little fender bender, maybe a level above a fender bender down there at the corner of Yakima and Wenatchee Avenue. Here's some footage we took this morning from the accident scene. Apparently a small vehicle there that you see had rear-ended a white pickup truck that had been stopped at the signal there at Yakima and Wenatchee Avenue. Apparently there were injuries involving the driver of that smaller dark-colored sedan there, and they're attending to him, but it apparently was not major injuries, just a minor. But again, traffic was kind of being controlled through that area by the Wenatchee Police Department. It's possibly cleared by this time, but again, be advised that there was an accident there, and we'll be having a report on it later.
The fire out in Vantage has caused a closure of I-90. I-90 is shut down in both directions right now for a 22-mile stretch. Ooh. That's a big hunk of change. Milepost 115, which is east of Ellensburg, to milepost 137, which is just east of the Vantage Bridge. It is shut down. There are no local detours available, so you simply can't get through I-90 from that area, that 22-mile stretch, basically from Ellensburg to the Vantage Bridge, because of a significant grasslands fire going on there.
That's right. Big fire burning up there. We have more details on that, but again, you can expect possibly more traffic from the Quincy area coming through Wenatchee to use Blewett Pass to get to Seattle, because right now that's the only option.
Here you go. A lot to get to. It's going to be a busy, busy Tuesday. Let's take you around North Central Washington with our Valley View cameras. It is breezy out there today, and it's going to be breezy most of the day today, so keep your fingers crossed, firefighters. That is not the cross camera. Normally we would use the cross camera. That's we call that the Wenatchee Heights East camera. That's about 1,000 feet to the east of the cross camera. It's a little bit lower, it's a little bit more sheltered, so it doesn't blow around as much. The cross camera, or normal beginning camera, Steve, the wind is making it move quite a bit, and it's a bit disconcerting. So that is the cross east camera. A little bit lower, a little bit more to the east. Mm-hmm. But still a good looking view. You can notice the clouds are out there. Clouds are going to be parting. We'll have sunshine for the most part today once we get through the morning. The one consistent today will be the winds. It is 64 degrees right now.
In fact, we were notified here recently by one of our Facebook friends that apparently there was a tree blown down somewhere on Easy Street, so be aware of that. Hopefully we can get a photo of that up here a little later.
With gusts near 30 today, we may have some more trees fall down and go boom. Camera 2, Kat says, let's slowly dissolve and let's go take a trip up to Jump Off Ridge.
Beautiful.
She has it up a little bit higher than normal. Normally we can see the Stemilt Basin, the holding ponds that they have up there so they can irrigate when they need to. But she has that a little bit higher. It gives you an idea of those high clouds. I don't know the elevation of that Jump Off Ridge camera, but it's up there.
Yeah, I was going to say about 6,000 feet or so.
I don't think it's that high, but it's up there. Sure. It's up there. Well, I can always just call Scott and say how high is it. He'll know. Scott's our top Sky-Fi dude. That's a cool view there.
Isn't it beautiful?
I like that. That's just incredible. It's hard to get there, but it's worth the trip. Jump Off Ridge. By the way, don't jump off Ridge. Don't do it. Camera 3, a slow dissolve to, that is, okay, let me think here. That's the foothill, so I want to say that's the monitor camera. Maybe? Steins. It's Steins. Gosh darn it, I knew that.
Looking west.
Looking west to Steins Hill. So, you see the Wenatchee River, you can see the highway. Good looking view there, and the orchards are just sitting there and growing away. As I mentioned before, the clouds will be departing as the day progresses. Sunshine for the most part this afternoon. Going to be breezy and a lot cooler, by the way, than yesterday. Got that cold front that came in yesterday, Steve. It ushered in a bunch of cold air, and that cold air is still hanging around for the middle of July.
That's
Fourth
fine.
camera is a trip up to Billy Goat, and that's zoomed in. That's cool, and I think we're going to move this one around, Steve, so get ready. Put your tray in the upright position, Steve.
Here we go.
Whoa!
Zooming out.
There you go. Isn't that cool? We've always talked about how we can move the cameras. That's an example of that.
And we saw last week how powerful our zoom cameras are.
Yeah.
We had that shot of the canvas fire.
That's just an incredible
Don't see any
view.
paragliders. Maybe the winds will kind of delay that activity.
I don't think they can do that in the heavy winds, can they? I don't know.
I'm not sure, but
I don't know.
they have the championships up in the Chelan area. They've been using Chelan Butte as their launch area, so that was expected to continue through Saturday, but I don't know how the winds are going to affect that.
Yeah, and of course, talk about bad timing. Today it was also supposed to be the North Central Washington Badminton Championships, also held at Chelan Butte.
Yeah.
The Outdoor Badminton Championships. They may have to cancel that.
Yeah, the shuttlecocks are playing. Birdies, rather.
You ever play badminton in the wind by yourself? I did that when I was a kid. You go out in the wind, you just hit it in the air, and it comes right back to you. You know.
And I lost.
Did you? And you lost.
And
yeah.
I lost.
Steve's not exactly the most athletic guy of our coworkers.
Used to be.
He's third, as a matter of fact. From the National Weather Service, here's your weather forecast. That cold front is still here. The big story today: cooler temperatures and breezy winds. We start out with partly sunny skies. That's what we have right now. And 64 degrees. We're going to get up to only 81, which is a lot cooler. It was 93 on Monday. That 81 degree mark is below normal. Quite a bit of wind though. Breezy northwest wind 15 to 20 with gusts as high as 28 miles an hour. And it's going to be windy tonight as well, Steve. 59 for the overnight low. It will decrease after midnight, but we're still going to have gusts bumping up near that 30 degree. That 30 mile an hour mark. Northwest wind again tonight 15 to 20, but again after midnight it will die down. Then we're pretty much done with the wind and we have a warming trend coming our way. Look at Thursday, 95, warmest day, Friday at 96, and then another cold front, not nearly as powerful and not nearly as active, will come in by the weekend, which is going to cool things off to more comfortable levels. Again, the big story today is going to be the wind. Partly sunny this morning, mostly sunny this afternoon. 81, breezy with a wind 15 to 20 miles an hour. Northwest wind consistent, gusts near 30 at times. Big day for firefighters, not only at the Little Camas, but the big fire that was toned out yesterday in Vantage. And that's going to be our lead story when we come back with Steve here. What's going on to our friends in the South? In 1 minute, you're going to get the news, and the news brought to you by Cascade Medical Center. Train with a physical therapist who loves the outdoors as much as you do. Cascade Medical Center, partners in your health.
The physical therapists at Cascade Medical love the outdoors as much as you do. But sometimes where there's love, there's also pain. Let us help you get back to the activities that you love. Cascade Medical, partners in your health.
RLS Productions presents Concerts in the Gardens held at Omi Gardens this coming summer, featuring the Infinity Project, a Journey tribute band, Too Slim and the Tail Draggers, the Wenatchee Swingin' Big Band, the Peter Rivera Band, and Invisible Touch, a Phil Collins tribute band. The objectives of the series are to increase midweek tourism to the Wenatchee Valley, the development of a world-class series overlooking the Wenatchee Valley, along with awarding annual scholarships to Wenatchee Valley College students. RLS Productions would like to thank their supporters and volunteers for helping make this all possible.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Good morning and welcome back to the program. Here are some of the stories we're following on this Tuesday morning. First of all, we're waking up this morning to reports of a major brush fire burning out of control in the Kittitas County area. Now, the Sheriff's Department there reporting this morning that a wind-whipped wildfire is threatening homes and a popular state park. The fire was burning on the south side of I-90, made it all the way to Huntsinger Road, the Vantage area. Here's a picture of it provided to us by the Sheriff's Department as it was reaching that Huntsinger Road area. A level 3 evacuation advisory is in effect for residents within 1 mile south of I-90 on Huntsinger Road. The Red Cross has set up an emergency shelter at the George Community Hall. Wanapum State Park is in a level 2 advisory. People camping there, according to the sheriff, will need to shelter in place. Again, as Huntsinger Road is currently impassable. I-90 is closed, eastbound, starting at Kittitas, and westbound just east of Vantage. That closure is in effect until further notice. There is no estimate for reopening and no detours, except for Blewett Pass through Chelan County, so they're asking the public to please avoid that area. Also, fire crews battling the Little Camas fire in Chelan County made more progress Monday. Managers say the fire is now 52% contained and that the lines were holding despite the windier weather. That fire is now estimated at over 400 acres. It's burning in steep, rugged terrain, as evidenced in this shot provided to us by InsaWeb, making that attack by ground crews very difficult and treacherous. Currently, 442 firefighters based out of the Kashmir Fairgrounds are currently working the blaze. Crews and equipment will be moving throughout the area. The public is asked to use extra caution when traveling through the Kashmir area and along US 97 Blewett Pass today. The Camas Meadows Bible Camp, along with a few homes in that area, remain under a level 1 evacuation advisory. The U.S. Forest Service has also closed hiking trails in that area. We'll stay on top of that on our website and on Facebook today. A 24-year-old Quincy woman was killed early Saturday morning after she was reportedly forced off the road by her ex-boyfriend. Just after midnight Saturday, Washington State Patrol says 24-year-old Jessica Kowal, the victim, called 911 to report she was being followed by her ex-boyfriend, identified as 26-year-old Carlos Carranza of Wenatchee. This was just outside Quincy on State Route 28. Carranza then struck Kowali's SUV from behind, resulting in a rollover collision into an irrigation ditch. Kowali died at the scene. Carranza then fled the scene at a high rate of speed. Quincy police observed the vehicle traveling westbound into Quincy, and after a short pursuit, Carranza then lost control of his car, drove into a ditch, fled on foot, and escaped. At this time, he was later found at a residence on Boudry Street in Wenatchee. There, he was arrested without incident. Carranza was booked into the Grant County Jail and charged with murder in the second degree. Good news to share with you this morning. Pangborn Memorial Airport is one step closer to offering daily nonstop flights to San Francisco after receiving a $750,000 grant from the federal government Friday afternoon. Now, that money will be combined with over $400,000 in locally raised funds to help entice a commercial airline to bring that service to the Wenatchee area. The Port District's Director of Business Development, Craig Larson, said that's the next big step.
Next steps is finding a carrier to fly the route for us and entering into a contractual relationship with them regarding the revenue guarantee and how this program is going to work. And then once that's accomplished, we will set a commencement date for service. And then this community that did such a great job supporting this flight and pledging the funds to make it happen, then it's back on the community to use the service and also for us to market our region as a tourist destination to Central California and have folks from down there coming up here and taking advantage of all the great things we have to offer to visitors to the region.
Now, the community's contributions are combined with a federal grant into a pool of funds from which the airline can draw if and only if revenue does not cover expenses during the first 2 years of service. If service is successful, the remaining community funding would be returned to the community at the end of the 2-year period. Larson says the airport has been experiencing an increase in the number of commercial passenger boardings as Horizon Air increased its daily summer schedule to 4 flights daily to SeaTac Airport. Okay, heads up, folks. 2 Wenatchee construction projects are now underway, which could snarl city traffic for a period of time. NCW Life's Grant Olson tells us more about that.
The city of Wenatchee is removing and replacing around 550 feet of 42-inch diameter storm drain pipe on Miller Street between Mission and Wenatchee Avenue. The work is being done in advance of the pending pavement restoration project to be built by the State Department of Transportation, which will run through the summer. Work will occur during evening hours between 9 p.m. and 7 a.m. A lane closure will divert the 2 lanes of traffic in northbound Miller into southbound Miller. There will be 1 lane of traffic open in each direction on Miller Street between Mission and Wenatchee Avenue. Northbound Wenatchee Avenue will also be closed to through traffic between Ninth Street and Miller, with a complete closure of Wenatchee Avenue at Miller. Local access will be maintained. That project should be completed by the end of the month. A second project is also underway. Hearst Construction of Wenatchee began construction of a mini roundabout at the intersection of Western and Springwater on Monday. Working hours will be generally on Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. The intersection will only close for 1 week of the 6-week project and will remain open for a majority of the roundabout construction. Grant Olson, NCW Life News.
And this morning we closed. Do you know how many wildfires are caused by human activity in Washington State? Well, with summer festivities in full swing now, Commissioner of Public Lands Hillary Franz wants you to know how you can prevent these types of fires from happening.
Hey, this is important. I need your attention. I am Hillary Franz, your Commissioner of Public Lands. Did you know that 75% of our wildfires are caused by humans? We can do better than that. This is Wildfire Prevention 101. Come on, let's get started.
Looks like a good parking spot to me.
No! Don't you know that parking your car on dry grass can cause a fire? In fact, exhaust pipes plus dry grass, it equals fire. And there's a laundry list of other items like weed whackers and mowers, and dragging chains anywhere near dry grass leads to serious fires. Let's get this right, folks. We can do this. Do it again.
I think there's a better parking spot up there.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly how it's done. Now, make sure you have your Discover Pass and enjoy our recreation areas this summer. Great job!
It's so hot out. I'm glad we took a break from hiking.
It'll get cooler when it gets dark, though. Also, I brought some fireworks for after our hike.
Seriously, how is lighting fireworks in our forest a good idea? It is never a good idea to light fireworks in our forest. It leads to horrendous wildfires. Don't light anything that could explode and cause damage. Let's try this again. Seriously, come on, people. We can do this.
It'll get cooler when it gets dark. I'm glad that we can watch the fireworks show from afar, though.
Yes, exactly. This is how we have a good time. Now you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Before you start a campfire, check burn restrictions and find an approved fire pit. When you're done, make sure to put it out. Pour that water in, drown, stir. Make sure all embers are out. Listen, you can take actions to reduce wildfires this summer. You can be one less spark. I believe in you.
Well, a little educational video provided to us by the DNR and Hillary Franz.
High energy.
So let that be a lesson to you.
It's funny because there's a significant fire. I can't remember if it's in Colorado or Utah. It's going on right now. A unapproved fire pit that was unattended. Spark took off. 8 homes gone. Thousands of acres burned because of an unattended fire in an unapproved fire pit. So.
Well, you remember last year the fire that started along Highway 97 from a piece of equipment that fell off a vehicle, a muffler or something that started that fire. So, yeah.
Catalytic converters get really hot.
Yeah, they do.
And they're very close to the ground. It doesn't take very much for those things to get going. Good stuff. Once again, if you're just joining us, there is a big-time brush fire in the Vantage area, and that means I-90 is closed in both directions for 22 miles, just east of Ellensburg, milepost 115, all the way to the Vantage Bridge. So that 22-mile stretch of highway between basically Vantage to Ellensburg, I-90 is closed in both directions, and there are no detours available. So you're either going to have to go on Highway 2 or down south to Highway 12 if you need to get from point A to point B, and you usually take I-90 to do it that direction. So quick heads up on that, and we'll have more on this fire. As we progress throughout the course of the day, if we need to, we'll break in. We've done it before. We can do it again. And if nothing really big happens, we'll just go ahead and put together a newscast for you anyway at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on TV, available on demand, and available on our Facebook page, if that's the way you choose to consume your news, Steve.
That's right, and we're always looking for ideas for news stories. If you'd like to send us a picture or a photo of some breaking news, we also very much appreciate that. You can contact us by email at our address, news@ncwlife.com. On our website at ncwlife.com, you can press the little tab at the top of the page that says Contact Us or News Tips. Facebook and Twitter, always a good way to get in touch with us. And of course, our breaking news hotline is 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295 for our breaking news hotline on NCW Life.
66 degrees, partly cloudy skies, windy all day today, partly sunny this morning, and then nothing but sunshine this afternoon, windy all day into the evening hours, and a forecast high of 81, a lot cooler than it was on Monday. Going to take a quick break. Still to have, we got sports, the obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays. Everybody is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion, and my conversation with two good folks from Lighthouse Christian Ministries, Sean Arrington and Bart Tilley, between now and 8 o'clock on a busy Tuesday. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live from Studio 1 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by LocalTel. Pineapple Mayhem is Saturday, July 14th from 7 to 9:30 p.m. at Calvary Crossroads Church. This free event for middle and high schoolers features games, activities, karaoke, snacks, and more. Come check out the new location for the Lighthouse at their open house Sunday, July 15th from 10 to 2. This will be home for the ministry soup kitchen, clinic, food distribution center, offices, and worship facility. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on LocalTel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
And we're back on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for this Tuesday, the 10th day of July. I am Dan Kuntz. Sports, both the Apple Sox and the Mariners had the day off yesterday, but it's back to baseball tonight. Baseball tonight is a registered trademark of ESPN. The Apple Sox begin their second half campaign with 6 consecutive games against the Bellingham Bells. The Bells have already punched their ticket, by the way, to the playoffs. They won the WCL North Division first half title. Their overall record, Bellingham 19-10, is the best record in the league. The Apple Sox overall record so far this year is 11-15. The Sox will host Bellingham tonight, tomorrow, and again on Thursday, and then those 3 teams will play in Bellingham on a weekend set. First pitch tonight, by the way, at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium is at 7:05. The Mariners start a 6-game road trip tonight in Anaheim. They're taking on the Angels. The M's 57-34 on the year. They're 3 games back of the Astros in the AL West. The Angels 46-45 on the season. They are 11 games behind the Mariners in the division. If the season ended today, by the way, first of all, it'd be really freaky because it's only July 10th. But if the season ended today, the Mariners and the Yankees would qualify for the postseason as wild card teams. Mike Leake will take the mound for the M's. He's 8-5 on the year. His ERA 4.11. Leake is 1-2 against LA this year. The Angels will counter with righty Garrett Richards, who gave up 3 runs against the Mariners last Wednesday. Richards is 7-4 in 13 starts against the M's. First pitch from Anaheim, 7:07. It's time for the obscure holiday of the day today. I don't really know what this holiday aims to achieve, except I found this online, so it must be true. Today is Teddy Bear Picnic Day. It's kind of cute anyway. Celebrated annually in the United States. You just take the kids and take the teddy bears and the stuffed animals, and you go out and you have a nice little picnic somewhere in the wind. That's whimsical. Anyway, I guess. So I did a lot of research and I discovered there's a song called Teddy Bear Picnic. It was written by John Bratton and Jimmy Kennedy. So I listened to it online and the song isn't very good. Maybe somebody should rewrite that. So take the kids out and let them have with the stuffed bears and let them have a picnic with their teddy bear picnic day today. Again, unclear as to why we do that, but that's why we call it the obscure holiday. Today in history, July 10th, 1890. Hey, happy birthday to Wyoming. That's one of my favorite state flags. Wyoming is 128 years old today. It was admitted as the 44th state on this date in 1890. It's got two nicknames. It's the Equality State because it was the first state to grant women the right to vote. It's also known as the Cowboy State. Not surprisingly, the state song of Wyoming, Wyoming. And kind of like Teddy Bear Picnic, it's not a very good song. The population of Wyoming is 586,107. It makes it the least populated state in the Union. In fact, Wyoming is smaller than the 31 largest cities in the United States. There are 31 cities in this country that have more people living in it, the entire state of Wyoming, but they were the first state to grant women the right to vote. Happy 128th birthday, Wyoming. You're looking good. July 10th, 1913, 105 years ago, it was a hot day in Death Valley, California. That's Death Valley. It was really hot, really hot. At 134 degrees Fahrenheit, 134 degrees, July 10th, 1913. It's the highest temperature ever to be recorded on this planet. Now, at the end of the day, the National Weather Service sends out the highs and lows for the entire contiguous 48 states, but they don't use Death Valley because it's the hot spot in the United States 300 days out of the year. They simply don't even use it. They just omit Death Valley as a matter of course because it would always be the hottest place in the United States every day, so they don't use it. 134 degrees. Oh. And this was 1913. They didn't have air conditioning. July 10th, 1925, 93 years ago today, there he is. Meher Baba spoke his last words, his final words. Don't worry, be happy. His last words, July 10th, 1925. He then lived for 44 more years. That's right. He took his vow of silence, never spoke again. His last words, don't worry, be happy, and then he never spoke for the remaining 44 years of his life. And his observers, and there are a lot of them all over the world, observe Silence Day in this date in commemoration of that. It happened on July 10th, 1925. And finally, you got to stay with me on this, one of my favorite baseball stories of all time. July 10th, 1932, it was 86 years ago. It was the final game of a 3-game series between the Philadelphia Athletics and the Cleveland Indians. The first 2 games of the 3-game series were played in Philly on Friday and Saturday. But in 1932, professional baseball games were banned in the city of Philadelphia. On Sundays, you could not play professional baseball on Sundays in Philadelphia. So after the game on Saturday, the two teams, the A's and the Indians, took a train to Cleveland so they could play the third and final game on a Sunday in Cleveland. Well, the owner and the manager of the Athletics, Connie Mack, wanted to save money on the train fare, so he took only 2 pitchers with him on this trip. The starting pitcher was Lou Krause and the relief pitcher, Eddie Rommel. Well, after allowing 3 Cleveland runs in the first inning, Eddie Rommel came in to replace Mr. Krause. Eddie Rommel then pitched in relief 17 innings. He gave up 14 runs and 29 hits, which are both records. He won the game 18-17 in the greatest relief pitching performance of all time. It's baseball. When you're out of the game, you can't come back in. 17 innings of relief for Eddie Rommel. It was his 171st and final Major League victory. Crazy, crazy baseball story. And finally, at 28 minutes after the hour, birthdays. 3 historic and 2 folks very much with us. Nikola Tesla, born on this date in 1856. Of course, he was a Serbian. He eventually immigrated to the United States. Lived a long time, lived to the age of 86. He died essentially broke. He moved from hotel to hotel to hotel in New York City and didn't pay his bill. But he said, you know, it's Nikola Tesla. He invented the practical application of alternating current, AC. The electrical delivery system is invented by him. And he spent a lot of money trying to patent a lot of things. Nikola Tesla is now back in the news, and he should be. He was born in the state in 1856. David Brinkley. David Brinkley was born on this date in 1920. I've always done a good David Brinkley. The Huntley-Brinkley Report was the newscast of the 1960s. Nothing against Walter Cronkite, but everybody watched the Huntley-Brinkley Report between 1960 and 1970. Of course, this week with David Brinkley, a great journalist, great author. David Brinkley was born on this date. Passed away at the age of 82 in 2003. I miss David Brinkley. I've read all his books. He's really good. The founder of the Special Olympics. You know, we just had the Special Olympics in Seattle last week. Eunice Kennedy Shriver was born in this state in 1921. Passed away at the age of 2009 in 1988. Passed away at the age of 88 in 2009. Of course, one of the Kennedy siblings was developmentally disabled, and that inspired Eunice Kennedy Shriver to start the Special Olympics back in 1968. She was born in the state in 1921. Urban Meyer celebrates a birthday today, one of college football's most successful coaches. He's 54 years old today. He's one of only 3 coaches, the other Pop Warner and Nick Saban, who have won the college football national championship with 2 different schools. Urban Meyer, head football coach of Ohio State University, is 54 years old today. And Sofia Vergara celebrates a birthday today. Sofia Vergara, the Colombian actress and producer and model, is 46 years old. Of course, he plays Gloria Delgado Pritchett on the sitcom Modern Family. As of September of 2016, Forbes magazine reports that Vergara was the highest paid actress in television. She makes $43 million a year. Not bad. It is raining in Billy Goat. Bring that up, Kat. Look at that. It's coming down in Billy Goat. These systems, by the way, that we talked about, this cold front that's come in, was expected to bring some thunderstorms, but not to the Wenatchee Valley. But as you can see, up in the Pateros-Brewster area, and my guess is in the Methow Valley as well, all the way up to Winthrop and Mazama, it's raining there. Look at that, raining in Billy Goat. It's not going to last very long. Again, the forecast today is cool temperatures, quite a bit of sunshine, high of only 81, but a lot of wind for the Wenatchee Valley today. And just a quick heads up while I have you here, I-90, both directions between Ellensburg and Vantage is closed. That 22-mile stretch of I-90 because of a grass fire, a pretty significant one in the Vantage area. So I-90 is closed in both directions between Ellensburg and Vantage. There are no detours. Plan ahead. 31 minutes after the hour, everybody's entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. Then my conversation with Sean Arrington and Bart Tilley from the Lighthouse Christian Ministries. They got a big Sunday coming up. That's coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
The Arbiter of Stoke is a series that highlights a variety of outdoor adventure sports that are available in the Pacific Northwest. I dedicate my time to enjoying this natural playground. The decision is yours. How will you keep your Stoke?
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Wenatchee Valley College is now offering 4-year degrees. The need for engineering technologists is rapidly growing, and the new Bachelor of Applied Science in Engineering Technology is designed to meet the needs of local employers. Students with an associate degree can complete the program in only 2 or 3 years. The program is accepting just 20 students for fall quarter. Apply now at wvc.edu/engineeringtech.
Hi everyone, Brent. Hey, don't mind, we're just making a commercial here, Randall. You're okay. Hi everyone, Brent here. You're gonna love this. When you see this, come down and see us behind Nissan. I can do it. I can do it. The all-new 2018 Nissan. That's done, I'm done. We can't do it. Come down and see us at Town Nissan behind Costco in East Wenatchee. Better performance, better.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to come down and check out what we're all about at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Great beer, good food, and an endless source of entertainment for the whole family. Our Honey Blonde beer is flying off the shelves at your local grocery store. But I tell you what, it's even better on tap. And while you're here, try our signature Badger sauce with one of our delicious meals. Whether you're in the mood for a wrap, salad, pizza, or nachos, Badger Mountain Brewing has what you're looking for.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, many American Christians want a Christian president, one who honors God, prays, seeks divine wisdom, doesn't sleep with prostitutes, maybe. Now, I'm all for that too, but we have to understand there are things about leading this country and adhering to the oath of office that don't exactly jive with what Jesus taught us. Now, seriously, when 9/11 happened, did you really want George W. Bush to go to Osama bin Laden and turn the other cheek? Being an American and swearing to defend the Constitution are not mutually compatible with Christianity. Sorry, they're just not. Now, interestingly, we had a president some years ago, a very devout man whose life exemplified his Christian values as much as any of ours do, I guess. And this president even continued to teach a Sunday school class while he was in office. Despite this, many right-wing Christians really didn't like him. Yeah, Jimmy Carter, go figure. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Boating is a great way to bring family and friends together. At Bob File Boats and Motors, they have the boats for any lifestyle: fishing, wakeboarding, or just relaxing on the water. Buying a new boat is more affordable than you might think at Bob File Boats and Motors. Online at bobfile.com or on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee.
Bob File Boats and Motors, we're dealing. Bob File's gonna make you smile.
Vominos junk haulers are pleased to announce they've added moving services to their list of ways to make your life easier. Vominos Moving Service. No move is too big or small. In fact, Vominos does it all. Vominos employees are experienced at moving your home, office, business, and storage. They'll carefully load and unload your belongings. And for the do-it-yourselfers, Vominos also rents trucks and cargo trailers. Call Vominos Junk Haulers and Moving Service today to schedule your free estimate.
We're here to celebrate every season with award-winning dining, full-service spa, and 170 waterfront guest rooms. Come experience our tradition of hospitality at Campbell's Resort on Lake Chelan.
Welcome to another edition of Harrod's Cookhouse Field to Table.
Outdoorsmen have been providing fresh food for American family tables for generations. Hunting and fishing is a way of life for our family, and we enjoy cooking delicious fish and game meals.
Oh, that's awesome.
We want to share our recipes with you. This is Harrod's Cookhouse Field to Table.
Watch for new episodes of Harrod's Cookhouse Field to Table starting Saturday, June 30th on the NCW Live channel.
And we are back on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz, your host. The last time I saw these two gentlemen was way back in November, Night in a Box. We were there broadcasting, of course, for the NCW Live channel. I'm referring to two of my good friends from the Lighthouse Christian Ministries. To my far left is Bart Tilley, who's been there since day one, and Sean Arrington, who's been there since day two, I think, from the Lighthouse Christian Ministries. Skinny boy, before we go anywhere, I haven't seen you since Night in a Box. And when you walked into our studio today, I thought, well, there's Bart, who looks exactly the same. And I go, and who's this guy you brought with you? This is a new look for you. First of all, I like it.
Yeah, I realized my beard weighed 100 pounds, so it was pretty easy.
So you've lost, you told me off camera, how much weight have you lost?
130.
That's nuts. Good for you. Just 130 over the course of, what, about a year or something like that?
About 9 or 10 months.
9 or 10 months you've lost. That's a lot of weight. Why? You just kind of felt low-key and fat?
I realized it was time to get healthy. My wife came and said, she'd like to spend a longer life with me. When it's put that way, how can I respond?
Well, you look fantastic. 86 the beard, too.
Yeah, for a little while.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a whole new look for you. When you're out and about, and Sean is what we would call a local celebrity, when you're out and about, or do people go, do I know you? Do you look familiar to me?
Yeah, I have conversations with people I've known for years and then remind them who they're talking to. It's great. I love it.
How much money did you find in the beard?
None, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I must have been doing something wrong.
Okay. I had a beard about your size once, and when I finally shaved it, I found 3 Monopoly pieces, 12 cents, and a small family of possums living in there.
That's a problem.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't grow the beard again. Enough nonsense. Let's talk about the lighthouse. I haven't seen you since November. Anything new out there, Bart or Sean, lighthouse related, since I saw you last?
Well, the new thing is that we're working hard on getting the doors open to the ministry center. And the goal is to have it up and running and operational to serve our first meals on Thanksgiving. That's the goal. So that's kind of I think that one of the big things that we're really working hard on. Yeah.
It's good to be ambitious, but that seems a bit much to me. I mean, I went down to look at the new facility, and
we've got work to do. Yeah,
you got work to do, and we're going to show a photo here in just a little bit. But goals are good.
Yes,
goals are good. Thanksgiving is obviously a huge thing for the lighthouse.
Yes, it is.
So you're finally going to get basically almost everything into one campus. Talk about the genesis of the new building, which is just a stone's throw away from the old building. Either one of you start handling that. When did this process begin? When did you decide we're too spread out and we need more space and a better facility than what we have now? Who wants to handle that?
Yeah.
Well, it pretty much happens when you go in, you're at a meal at the lighthouse and all the seats are taken. There's people sitting on the stage, people standing against the wall holding plates. There's been times where people are lined up to the door and then doubled back. You know, there's obviously an occupancy load there, and when we're feeding more than that in a mealtime, people are having to cycle in and cycle out. So the need was obvious, and it's been that way for a number of years. Ideally, it would be great if there were less people in need, but that's just not the way it is in this season. So a number of years ago, we were looking at just different buildings, Bob Rogers and I, and he saw this building and couldn't get it out of his mind, couldn't get it out of his heart, and so the process began there. It's been a long process of permitting and planning and getting everything drawn up in the way that's most logical, and it's going to be really nice to have something that's designed to meet the need that we're bringing to the table, and not doing it in a location that's not ideal for that.
You simply ran out of room.
We ran out of room, and the need increased. We're not moving the housing there, so everything else will stay where it's at, that's housing, but the medical clinic, the dental clinic, the soup kitchen, the church services, the counseling, the offices are going to finally exist. Right now we meet at Cafe Mela all the time. You could imagine some of those conversations from table to table.
So the lighthouse itself, the clinic will be moving, right?
Yes.
Okay, Gospel House? Is that?
No, that's the Gospel House is the shelter. So anything that's housing will stay where it's at.
Grace House is going to stay where it's at?
That'll stay where it's at.
Mission, all of so some of the things. So basically, the lighthouse itself, which is what the building right on South Wenatchee Avenue, right across the street from Encouraging Words. How many more square feet are you going to get now with this new building?
We're moving from 2450, and that's including a basement that is just storage. To well, the whole building is 33,000 square feet.
So that's I'm going to do some math in my head. That's about 30,000 more square feet than you have now.
Yeah, we have a place for you. Come on over.
Yeah. I went down there yesterday, and I took a photo of the building that there it is. That's the building that Bob found. What did this, I'm assuming, because of its location off of Columbia and Spokane, it was a fruit storage building of some kind?
It was. It was the old Watson fruit distribution warehouse.
Oh, okay. And it's been vacant for how long?
Oh, it was occupied until Bob bought it, and it was used by the Veterans Warehouse at that point.
Okay, and now it's just it's ready to get fixed up and do the stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Bart brought some architectural renderings with him. Bart, go ahead and walk people through what they see.
Well, what you see here is a improved parking facility. So today the parking lot is gravel. And obviously here you can see it's paved with clear delineation on where people should be parking, landscaping. We're trying to improve the overall look and feel of the neighborhood. and these images depict that, right? So you've got places for water runoff, and just a new fresh coat of paint, and sprucing up, if you will, of the facility itself.
But the people, what they're looking at, the main thing at the bottom would be Columbia Street. Just out of the picture on your left would be Spokane Street, and across the street from that would be the Go USA building.
Exactly.
So,
yeah,
not a very big move. That's the angle I was trying to get yesterday. I didn't do a very good job.
No, boy, it's beautiful. I love it.
That's a great architectural rendering. How much work really needs to be done when you went into that building? I mean, sometimes it's good to have a wide open space. You can pretty much do what you want to. But as far as infrastructure and everything, it's okay? Foundation-wise and all that stuff?
Yeah, everything, I guess the wording is strong bones. Everything was really adequate. Of course, the code has changed since that place was built there. Obviously, we want to put people in and then have a number of people on each floor. So we did horizontal and vertical restructuring, supporting, and that was a surprise to us. That took a good while, but I'm pretty sure you can park a semi on the floors now.
That's an interior shot of the clinic, which is fantastic.
Yes, yeah, very modern. You know, the idea is that we want to provide an excellent location to be able to serve the needs of those who are less fortunate.
And it's so much, 30,000 square feet. That's room for growth, although I've said this before. I wish we could drive you guys right out of business, but haven't been able to do that yet.
That'd be great.
So it'd be nice for people to need to have nice, new, clean facilities with new equipment and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
New is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
New is good.
We agree. We definitely
so
agree.
this is now, how much work has gone on so far in the building as we look at these artistic renderings of the future of the lighthouse? How much work has gone on right now?
Well, right now we've had electricians come in. We've put in new telephone poles, new power supplies. We have the air conditioning and heating that have come in. We have another level still to do of that. But a lot of the plumbing, electrical work, everything that's this initial start, the restructuring of the building. We've had to take out staircases and make sure to add them in different places. We're adding a chairlift. What we're looking at in the future is finishing up the electrical, finishing up the AC and the heating, getting the drywall on, and then beginning to really fill the place with equipment.
How much is this as volunteer labor? Hey, Sean, I can give you 8 hours here and 4 hours there, and how much is this you're paying a contractor to do this stuff?
Most of this is paid because we feel that the need is now, and we wanted to make sure that we were getting the need to the people who are in need before any time really needed to pass. And to do that, we need to pay to have it done. We on the Gospel House, we built that with a lot of volunteer labor. But with volunteer labor comes the time of making sure that they are able to do it when they can do it. And the need is just so urgent that we didn't want to do that to the clientele.
You're not moving very far, and that's very important. I know you mentioned Bob Rogers is the one who found the building and he couldn't get out of his head. This is critically important because the actual physical location of Lighthouse isn't, you're only moving, what, a block?
Yeah.
And that's important. So you're still in the same general area, right, Bart?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So.
No, we're really feeling extremely fortunate that we're able to find a building that's going to meet our needs today and then for the foreseeable future that is right in the vicinity.
Now, all that's left is $100,000. That sounds like a big chunk of change. It can be done. And this Sunday, they're going to have an open house. Walk me through Sunday and walk me through how we're going to get that $100,000. Take it, somebody.
Go ahead, Bart.
Yeah, so we're having an open house this Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 o'clock. The address is 410 South Columbia Street. So
you can't miss it. It's right behind Holiday's muffler, between Holiday's custom muffler and the Go USA building. You can't miss it.
Exactly. Yeah. So we really invite the community to come down, see the building in its current state, walk you through, give tours, and show where the different facilities would be located, both the clinic as well as the soup kitchen and food distribution and ministry center, counseling offices, the whole 9 yards. So that'll be fun to actually provide people with a look into what the building's going to actually be like in the near future. And in terms of fundraising, we're trying to raise the last $200,000. We had 16 donors who have pledged to give $100,000, and it's a matching funds campaign. And so, basically, for every dollar so we're needing to raise $100,000. and if we raise 100,000, then those other donors will match it.
But we got to get to that 100,000. That's the
right.
key.
That's right.
That's the key. You've raised 1.2 million so far. Where did that money come from? Just generous people, or do you want? Is there some specific people or businesses that you want to thank to help you start that process?
Yeah. Well, there's been a couple that have really helped us out. North Cascades Bank was a donor that made a big difference, a huge difference.
No
Stemilt
surprise
made
there.
a huge difference, and then the community joining right in with that, partnering alongside that. Have made this happen to this point, and so we're really grateful and excited about the way that people in this community love people in this community.
Yeah. Did you mention Stemilt?
Yes.
Okay,
I talked over the top.
Okay.
Stemilt, huge.
Stemilt.
Yes.
So thank you, West. Thank you, John, at North Cascades National Bank. Good for them.
Yes,
and then
it is good for them. Absolutely.
Basically, Joe Schmoes like me cutting you a check for $20 here and $10 there. It a little goes a long way, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And it's doubled today, and until this project is done, it's exciting.
Yes. So we're going to pie in the sky time. Community, the Wenatchee Valley, 100,000, we're in. The 16 donors pledge, there it is, your 200,000, you got your 1.4 million, and then you just go great guns to get this baby up and running by Thanksgiving?
Exactly.
So, I mean, how much can you do until you get to that magic 200,000? Are you going to hit a certain wall and say, this is all we can do until we get more money, or?
Well, that was our concern at first, but even with that initial 100,000 from the 16 donors, has empowered us to keep going through, and already the community is pouring it in, so we don't see a pause time at all. That was really the part that we wanted to make sure that the community had the option and ability to help us be in by the end of November, and it's going to happen. We just know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And people obviously can give money on the 14th.
Yes.
So they can give money anytime.
Yeah, we're open
Anytime.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for donations, and that's the URL right there.
I'm going to throw some numbers out your way. You're going to probably find a little sobering. Sean knows this. You talked about the old place at 2,500 square feet plus storage. You simply run out of room.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. How many meals do you serve in a day?
In a month, we're doing a little over 14,000 servings. We had one month where we crossed 15,000 servings at the Lighthouse.
And that's the figure that makes you want to go, oh,
yeah.
14,000 meals a month.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of need. It's increased tremendously. I believe when we first started counting, it was probably, I think, around 6,000 or 7,000. And I haven't seen a greater number of homeless. If you look at the homeless count, the count has not fluctuated too much. But what we do see is that more people are aware that there's somebody able to meet that need.
Yes, somebody is meeting that need. The problem is there's the need.
Yes.
And we've talked about this before. Is this vicious cycle breakable eventually? I know how you did it.
Yeah, it's absolutely breakable. It's being broken in people's lives daily. The good news is we aren't seeing the same clientele, and it's not all the same people. And here's the strange thing that a lot of people don't understand. It's not everybody from everybody else's town. The people that are commonly experiencing homelessness the most that we see coming in and out of our doors, at least 90% of them are native to the Wenatchee Valley. People who are serving people over the counter are serving people that they went to high school with. The good news is just through the Gospel House shelter alone, there's been over 200, I believe it was 240 or 250 people housed into permanent housing with less than 20 evictions out of that in the last 4 to 5 years. And so that's a tremendous rate. Over at the Grace House with the mothers and children, when we reached our 100th child returned to the care of the mom, there was only one out of the 100 of the children that didn't go back to the mother, went completely off of CPS cases. So that's a 99% rate of restoring families, and hundreds of people put into homes. And there's more statistics like that that's happening every day. And we may drive by and see people at the parks, but we're also driving by lots of houses to and from that park of people that have had their lives changed.
It's a great success story.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of success stories.
There's a lot of them.
For the Lighthouse, including Sean's himself is an incredible success story. You mentioned CPS. How do people land on your doorstep to begin with? How do people get the word out that this place, the Lighthouse Christian Ministries, exists to begin with?
Yeah, different agencies partnering together in the community, making sure that people are able to get the needs met that they have met. That's a big one. Also, word of mouth, just between people. We have over 300 volunteers a month at the soup kitchen alone, and they have a lot of people in their lives and people that they come across. And a lot of people are just brought over. They do application processes for housing. They come in because they're hungry. If you're in need in this valley and you reach out to 1 or 2 people, you're going to get an answer immediately. This valley doesn't have unknown services.
Bart, how did you end up on the Lighthouse doorstep? I don't know how many people are familiar with Bart and the original Night in a Box campaign from all those years ago. Why are you involved with Lighthouse? What brought you and Sean together?
Yeah, that was quite a night. So it was approximately 2010, 2011 timeframe, and my youngest son Connor and I were having dinner downtown, and we were on the way home, and all of a sudden, more than I thought, a feeling came over me of, I need to go to the Lighthouse. And I remember driving down Wenatchee Avenue, looking over at Connor and said, Connor, we're going to the Lighthouse. Did a U-turn on Wenatchee Avenue, came back and parked right in front of the Lighthouse. We got out, walked in, and Sean was waiting for us. And it was like he was truly waiting for us.
There was something going on here.
Yeah.
Something.
And it was almost like, hey, I've been waiting for you. Come on in. We introduced ourselves and became great friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those amazing God-filled moments where obviously God spoke to my heart and said, this is something you need to be involved in. And Sean was sitting there kind of waiting for us, ready to basically welcome us with open arms.
It's funny how these things happened, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I remember the day I was in the kitchen, I looked across the street as they were parking, I'm like, well, they sure stand out. Oh, they're coming over here. Why are they coming over here? This is interesting. And it just, his son prayed for me that day. It was the first time that somebody coming into the Lighthouse prayed for me, and it was his young son. I was like, wow, is this how it feels? This is amazing. I just never will forget that.
We got about 4 minutes left. Let's finish up where we began. First of all, congratulations on losing all this weight. What I didn't ask you is, how did you do it?
Oh, well, more than just the beard is eating healthy, exercising, motivation to take care of my body in a way that I never thought about.
Just the basics.
Yeah, the basics.
Yeah. Do you feel as good as you look?
I feel better than I look, trust me.
Let's talk about this thing again. The 14th, this Sunday the 14th, head to the brand new location at the Lighthouse, which is on South Columbia, again, between Holidays Custom Motives on one side and the Go USA building on the other. So here's the deal, folks. They have $1,200,000 in the bank. They have 16 donors who have pledged to match up to $100,000. So we got to get to the $100,000 first.
Right.
If we get to the outstanding $100,000, those 16 donors will throw in the additional $100,000, gives you up to $1.4 million, and you have a budget with a little bit of wiggle room, because you know how these things are.
Yes.
So
no, you've nailed it.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Any little bit helps. You can WenatcheeLighthouse.org. You can donate there. You can drop by anytime. The Lighthouse. How are you sitting for volunteers, by the way?
We always need volunteers. We always need food.
Okay, always need any particular food items?
Yeah, we have restrictions on no food items, so anything that you would feed somebody, especially dry goods, go a long way, but it's also garden time, so bring your garden down.
I was going to ask about that.
For you. We appreciate your hard work.
So anything that's edible.
Anything that's edible.
So, but you really go through the stuff that doesn't have a long shelf life. I know you go through a lot of eggs and a lot of milk and a lot of butter and stuff like that.
We go between 10 to 15 dozen eggs every morning that we serve eggs, which is usually, and coffee. That's a big staple also.
Yeah, big staple. And the best thing is that you guys have a relationship with a lot of the local stores.
We do have with some of them.
Yeah, and so if you just give them money outside of this, a little bit goes a long way, because they're able to sell their stuff essentially at cost or even below cost, right?
Absolutely. Even grocery outlets doing a drive right now to help us receive groceries. They have pre-made bags for our dry storage. People can just go by grocery outlet in East Wenatchee, and that gets delivered then to our door.
Wow. If you're hungry and you're down in your luck, no questions asked. Just pop on by the Lighthouse. They'll take care of you. They really will. It's always good to see you guys. I'm looking forward to it. The 14th, again, the 14th, but you can donate anytime that you want.
The 15th.
The 15th. Did I say, is it the 15th?
Yeah, you changed the day on us.
Did I keep you?
Sunday.
What is
Sunday.
it? Sunday. It's Sunday.
Yeah.
It's Sunday.
So they can either, you can come by anytime between 10 a.m. and 2. Sean will give you a personal tour. If Sean's busy, then I'll try to pitch in.
Yeah.
Don't you have services on Sunday?
Yes, I'm excused from church on that day. God said it's okay.
Oh, good. Yeah, you're a lot closer with the big guy than I am. That's something else. Yeah, it's a Christian ministry. So if you just need a little blast of spirituality, at what time are services?
12:30 on Sundays.
And what can people
5 to 6?
What can people expect from you, Sean, during services?
Well, nothing from me, but a lot from other places.
Okay. And who's kidding? Lighthouse is an inspirational place. It really is. You know, a lot of success stories.
Absolutely.
It's good to see you guys.
Nice
Let us know how it goes on Sunday the 15th.
Yes, that's right.
Sunday the 15th. I don't know why I don't know where that came from.
You're just early. You're always early.
Yeah, I'm
Never
always
late.
early, always out of the game. Everybody have yourself a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, take care.
Great.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.